on, people? Welcome back to AFTV. Now, in the week that Arsenal players became models, the same week we fly to Italy and hopefully we can fashion a win against Atalanta this Thursday.
Brilliant. Yes. That's really good.
It took you all day to work that
Yeah,
out.
the whole flight.
It was worth the wait.
Yeah,
You enjoyed that one?
I did.
Did you see him of models? Did you see Declan Rice walk? Did you?
I did see
I think
that.
he
And I like that, you
understands.
know.
He gets it.
So you're
Let's hope he
appealing to
plays better
everyone.
than he is a model.
You're making it simple.
Eh?
He's mugging you off.
Oh no, of course.
But
he is.
anyway, let's get into this preview. Obviously, we're previewing the game this Thursday against Atalanta, the first Champions League game for Arsenal. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff at the G-Wiz Stadium.
It's actually pronounced Gevis Stadium.
I asked him before, is that how you pronounce
No,
it?
But he asked the fella there, like,
Did
you know,
he?
do you know what he actually said? He goes, "I'm going to mug Cecil off
I
here."
didn't
like.
say that.
He did.
I just
I
asked him,
believe he did.
because I was doing my research
Did you or
properly,
did you not?
I asked him, how do you pronounce it? Gevis.
The Gevis Stadium.
Gevis Stadium. Would you like to carry on?
Such a cheeky. Beep. But anyway, let's get into this. So obviously Atalanta, they won the Europa League last season, done really well. They ended up beating Liverpool as well at home. I think that's a big result. They got a 3-0 win. They are going to be tough opposition. I'm going to come to you, Julian, first. What are we looking to expect from Atalanta? I know you, like you mentioned, you've done the research properly. So what are you looking to expect in this game?
Well, I wouldn't say I've done the research, properly.
That's what you just said.
No, I've done some research on them.
Go on.
And that Liverpool game was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't know how you guys felt, but it was totally unexpected that a team that I didn't really know much about went and beat Liverpool 3-0.
At Anfield.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
No, it wasn't at Anfield. You got that completely wrong. It was here. They actually lost 1-0 at Anfield. So they went through 3-1 on aggregate.
No, I think you want to double check that.
No, keep this in. Keep this in.
You want to double check that because well done, Lee. No, it was at Anfield 3-0.
No. I think you want to check that.
It was 3-1 overall.
It was. Look, we just keep. It was 3-1 overall.
You've done your research properly.
But the point of this is,
I'd like you to get to the point.
No one really expected Atalanta to beat Liverpool over 2 legs, and especially 3-0, whether it was at Anfield or whether it was at
it was whether it was at Anfield now.
Or the Gevis Stadium, which has a capacity of how much?
25,000.
Incorrect. 24,950.
I hate him. Who agrees? Why is he?
I'll tell you what, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to say it now, Robin, you need to come back and, we need a substitution.
Yeah.
Okay, but the point is, we didn't expect Atalanta to beat Liverpool, and they did. Why did they? There was a couple of reasons for that. Number one, because they're a lot better than anyone expected, and they are a good team, and that's, the fact that they went on to win the Europa League, they are a good team. Liverpool were not prepared for that game. They were also, if you think back to April last year, they still had a chance to win the league. They were going for it. They played a very much weakened team. A lot of their players,
Becker was on a bit of a bad run as well.
They started on a bad run. Becker wasn't even on the bench. They had Salah on the bench, Conor Bradley on the bench, Trent on the bench, Diaz on the bench, Szoboszlai on the bench, Salah on the bench, and Jota on the bench. So they played very much shadow team. So although they did really well in the Europa League, the big game for them was Liverpool and obviously the final.
Yeah.
And, they won it, but it was unexpected.
Of course, Adoma Lookman with a hat-trick there. They're definitely a good side. They also beat Bayer Leverkusen, who was on unbeaten run that season as well. So there's someone to obviously take serious. I'm going to come to you, Leo, on this question. Obviously, it's the new format for Arsenal, the new Champions League format. It's the first league game in the Champions League format. How are you feeling ahead? How important is it? Because it's a Thursday game. The big game, I think, when I spoke to you before the North London derby was Spurs. And then everyone's kind of looking City next. But we have got this game, which I think you kind of got to take serious because it's of the new format. How serious should we take it?
That's a great question because no one really knows how this format's going to work and how it's going to be for you. You might win a few games and you could be in the 8 or in the 16. And as we were saying earlier on, if you get into that knockout stage, you could still get knocked out in the last 16 and be in a little bit of trouble. So you want to get into the top 8 if you can, but no one knows how that's going to pan out. It's a difficult game for us. It's a difficult week for us. Away at Tottenham's, as we know, is tough because of the reasons is that it's Tottenham. and then obviously to travel here on a Thursday, then you've got the game of the season as far as I'm concerned, because it is Man City.
It's early on as the game of the season for you, yeah?
Of course. I think it's panning out like at this moment in time who the two best teams are in the league, as it has been for the last couple of seasons. But they play tonight, of course, in the competition, and we play tomorrow. So it's a real difficult one for us. But I think that this is where the squad comes into it, in my opinion. I think that, squad rotation is not a bad word. It's not a bad word. No one's getting dropped and all that.
No.
When you're playing and a lot of players, good money, and players where everybody's talking about the squad, we've definitely made the squad a lot more stronger in quality-wise. Yeah. You've got to use it, and this is the perfect opportunity to use it. Now, Julian just made a great point there before I fell asleep. He actually said about that Liverpool made a lot of changes, probably too many.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm saying. 3 or 4 changes from the lineup is what I expect to see.
Yeah.
Because of City on the weekend. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to take this lightly. I think it'd be very, very difficult. But I think that as long as we don't lose today, tomorrow, will be a good thing. But listen, Liverpool come here against Milan. Milan are in the same sort of position in the league, and they beat them 3-1. So we're capable of coming here and winning. It just depends on he's got to get the balance right for this game and Sunday. In the past, if I look back at Bayern Munich, Aston Villa, he didn't get it right, and this is where hopefully Mikel will have learnt from it.
Well, listen, to the viewers and the listeners that's listening and watching on this, we will be doing a predicted 11 between all of us. We're going to try and agree on who we think should start and who should be playing in that fixture. That'll be after this video, so make sure you look out for that on the channel. But I'm going to come back to you, Julian, because I mentioned the game's on a Thursday. City, they played tonight. I think Pep was annoyed at the fact that they have a cup game on Tuesday against Watford. They tried to move it to the Wednesday, but if they did move it to the Wednesday, they had to play at Vicarage Road. But he said, no, I'd rather play at home on the Tuesday. Are you worried about Arsenal playing Thursday and then playing, obviously, City on Sunday? Would you have preferred it? The fixture congestion basically is the question here. Are you annoyed that it's a Thursday instead of maybe a Wednesday and there was a game, playing 3 away games in a week? All right,
well, the first thing is I don't understand why Pep is annoyed by that whatsoever, because he's just playing the game.
Do you think that's what he's doing?
He's completely playing the game, because he won't be playing any of his first 11, I wouldn't have thought, in that game anyway.
Against Watford,
So it's immaterial. I think, this is my personal opinion, is that they've got a massive advantage in playing a day early and at home, and it was unfortunate. That's how it worked out. I'm not one of these people that says it's conspiracy theory and that over the course of the season it will work out. But for this particular game, which is for me an absolute 6-pointer, they have a distinct advantage with the way that's worked out.
I agree. We haven't actually heard much complaining from Arteta though about this.
There's no point in complaining.
Well, there's no reason to complain, because last season every European time we went away from home, the following fixture in the Premier League, we was at home. So you get what you're given, and
it's just unfortunate it was this particular game. That was all.
This particular game. I was actually when the draw come out, I said, that's great, but we've now got to hope that this Champions League draw is at home. I would have been, if we'd have been Atalanta or PSG at home, I would have been a lot happier with it.
Same.
But and then to what I think. If you've got a slight grounds to complain about, is I've got, as you say, if you're away on a Wednesday night, fine, but to put it on a Thursday, it was a little bit strange for me.
But that's how this competition has worked out, because they've got the expanded Champions League. They have to play it over Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and everyone's going to it's apparently going to be split evenly between Tuesday, Wednesdays and Thursdays. So the fact we've played Thursday in this game means we shouldn't be playing Thursdays.
We've only got one Thursday fixture, haven't we, which is this one.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's listen, things you have to deal with, injuries you have to deal with, suspensions you have to deal with. We've dealt with them.
No excuses
on Sunday.
No excuses.
No. There's no excuses no more.
Excuses.
There's never no excuses no more. Arsenal. Edu, Arteta had the opportunity in the transfer window to go with what they in the end they decided what they got is they're happy with it. So you have to respect that and go on for it. Listen, we had injuries, we had suspensions at the weekend. We dealt with it. That's what we've got to do. We've now got to come over here on a Thursday night. Look, I'd rather be here on a Thursday night than not at all. So let's get that right. We're in the Champions League, and listen. we're playing one Thursday night, you know, in Europa League you're playing every Thursday night, so I know what I'd rather be in, like, you know. So get on with it. The squad quality wise is good enough to deal with these two games, in my opinion.
I understand. Let me open this question to the floor and everyone watching, because this one is a bit different here. I want to ask everyone here that if you're in Atalanta's shoes, if you're their team coach or the analysis guy, how do they beat Arsenal? Because if you look at it, we've got some injuries, but they haven't started the season well, Atalanta. I think their first 3 games they lost 2. I know they got a last-minute winner from Adeloma Lookman against Fiorentina. How do you beat this?
I don't think it was a last-minute winner.
Okay, he was the winner. He scored the winning goal. Apologies, it wasn't last minute. He scored the winning goal. But if you're threw me off there, Atalanta, how do you beat this Arsenal side? Because I've seen them against Milan, Atalanta, and they didn't deal with the long balls into the box, the throw-ins, the crosses, and we saw at Spurs. We're pretty good at doing that. I feel like you look at Arsenal start, still unbeaten, only conceded 1 this season. How do you beat Arsenal from their perspective? How would you say?
Should I go first?
Yeah,
you
go
know what I mean? Look, Arsenal's away record is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's absolutely in the Premier League. In Europe, it wasn't so great. You know, Porto lost at Lens as well. Like, you know, it isn't as great. So I would look at that as a thing to say, well, like, you know, Arsenal can be got at.
Yeah.
Because I think when you play in Europe, obviously there's different defending, different tactics and whatever. So, like, if I'm the manager, I would very, very much look at that Porto game and see how you played. And if you have a look at that Porto game, they defended for both games, deep and caught us out on the break on one occasion and get the win. That's how they look at it. Now, don't forget, it's not like you're getting over 2 legs like that game against Porto was. This is for 3 points and that's it. You know, you play these, which is a little bit of a concern, is that you play 3 points and you don't get a chance to get back at them.
Yeah.
It's 3 points and it's 3 points only. So that's how I would look at it, like from that point of view. I think that try and frustrate Arsenal.
I think teams do try and do. I think they always try that. Slowing down the game, trying to get the descent and all that for us.
Of course, you know what I mean. If you remember back to that Porto game, Declan Rice got a booking in the first minute. Do you know what I mean? They sort of so little tactics like that to get at the Arsenal is what they're trying to do. Arsenal have got to be able to think what they do, keep to their game plans and everything like that. But listen, I think with Atalanta, what I've seen of them, and I'm not saying I'm an expert because I only watched them a couple of times, they're very, very much a counter-attacking team which sit back, and they had pace last season which absolutely got at Liverpool.
Yeah.
And caught Liverpool on the break. So that's where we've got to be careful. That's what I think that they're doing.
Julian, do you have any thoughts on if you're from Atalanta's side?
Yeah,
how they beat Arsenal?
You mentioned that they haven't had a good run so far, and I'd agree with you, but they've had 3 away games, and the one game that they have had at home was the Fiorentina game, which they did win. Their pre-season wasn't great either. They lost 3-0 at San Pauli, which is a German team in Hamburg. They also lost against Real Madrid, which again...
it's Real Madrid.
It's Real Madrid, and they also got a draw over in Holland. So they haven't had a great run, but when you look at how they did win their games against Liverpool and also in the final, they, as Lee said, they didn't have much possession. I think against Liverpool in the game they won 3-0. They only had 33% possession. They had more shots on target than Liverpool did, even though they had such little possession. So the way that they play is hitting teams on the break. And again,
do we deal with that well? Are we a team that deals with that well?
We deal with everything well. So there's no easy answer. There's no set way to play Arsenal, to beat Arsenal. That is the way that they play. And I think for them, I think they've got to be true to the values that they've been playing and how they've practiced. I don't think they should come away from their normal game plan, which probably is the best chance they've got of beating Arsenal. But I still don't think they will.
It's the strangest thing about this competition is if you play someone away, then you play them at home. So you can. It's a different game, isn't it?
But we don't have that.
We don't have that this time. This is the strangest thing about this. It's just an away game. So I don't know how both teams will.
I know why
adapt to that. Like, if you're a home team, I suppose you've got to look to be a bit more up, on the front foot. But it'd be interesting for me what team selection Arsenal do and what actual tactics they feel. What they feel is right, because at this moment in time, it's all new.
Yeah, and
It's
we've
all new.
and for you guys listening as well, we've never played Atalanta in a competition, in a major competition. So it's like you just mentioned there, it's all going to be a complete, unknown dynamic for this fixture. So I don't know if home advantage is a big thing here. You mentioned, a lot of the games they played as away. I mean, I think our travelling fans, I don't know how many will be here.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, there won't be many.
Okay.
We've had quite a low allocation anyway, and my belief is we haven't seen that many Arsenal fans out here
That's
already.
true.
And look, the allocation has been sold out, but how many turn up, I don't know. I think a lot of tickets have been bought just to get the points.
Wow. Okay. Well, so before we get into your score predictions, the ex-Arsenal player, I know you're going to know this, that plays for Atalanta.
Yeah, Kolasinac.
Oh, Lee, yeah, go Lee.
Did you know that, Julian?
I did actually.
Yeah,
I was having to.
Look
You have
back
your
for it.
glory.
I thought you would have known that was coming.
Kolasinac.
And obviously,
I think he's injured though at the moment.
Europa League winner.
And Europa League, yes he is.
He played in
And
that final.
how many players are returning to their home nation from Arsenal? How many players? How many? What
Well,
number?
it'd be Calafiori, from what I understand, he has trained today.
Correct.
And Jorginho.
Good. Any more?
Yeah. Is there any more? Well, Arthur Lupoli doesn't play for Arsenal anymore.
No, you're right. That is Calafiori and Jorginho. Right, let's get into it then. Score predictions. How do you think this game's going to play out? Starting with you, Lee Judges.
Well, I said 1-1. I think I said it in Forever Arsenal, and also on the Invincibles as well. But since getting over here, having a look at the stadium and all that, I'm now thinking that we're going to. I've changed my mind a little bit, So, look, listen, I always back Arsenal, and I think I don't know, because of Liverpool's result against Milan yesterday. I'm thinking, well,
yeah.
are Milan better than these? And if Liverpool can go and get a 3-1 win, I feel that we can win it. So I'm going to go 2-1 to the Arsenal.
That's a fair perspective. He's looked at the last game that played
I
yesterday.
mean, Milan have had a similar start.
Yeah,
They're 10th, and this lot are 9th. There's not a lot in it, and I think we're a better team than Liverpool. I think we'll come here and we'll win 2-0.
2-0. Okay,
I love it.
Yeah, I
What
like
are
the
you going
confidence.
for?
I haven't constructed a score prediction at all. Let's go. I think we'll No, we don't concede. Yeah, I like 2-0. Julian, I'm going to go with you. Not many times we agree, but 2-0 to the Arsenal. That is my score prediction. Let us know your score predictions in the comments below. And let me know, how would you beat this Arsenal side? Let us know in the comments your thoughts on that, because I'll be intrigued to hear how you think you stop Arsenal. Like the video if you like the video, and we'll see you on the Predict 11 video. Take care. Peace.